Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ayushi. In today's video, I'm gonna share my tips on how to start your reading journey and also sustain it. Let's say you are confused on where to start. So number one tip, always start by reading books in the area of your interest. What I mean by that, pick a genre that's which you are familiarized with. For me, it was psychology. So I thought of starting with psychology books because not only it will make me curious, it will make me stick to the end of it. Another tip, go for books that are small rather than books that are this thick. First of all, you have yet not developed the patience that is required to finish a book this thick. So it's easier to commit to a book that is this small than commit to a book that is this thick. By reading a page or two a day for a week and then start building up on that habit by increasing pages to chapters. Every day, your capacity to understand and observe knowledge is different. So listen to your mind, start by reading a page or two, and if you find yourself having hard time focusing on the book, just drop the book then and there. Just force yourself into this reading because you want it to be something that activates your mind, and if your mind is already exhausted, there's no meaning of reading the book, just that you are reading for the sake of it. Another thing, since it's very expensive to buy, books are very hard to find, always buy them second hand if possible. Also, what you can do is that compare prices on different websites. I know that Amazon provides faster delivery, but the books are more expensive on Amazon than it's on Flipkart. You can always go and check the reviews on YouTube and goodreads.com. They'll help you significantly to know if book is worth it, and also if it's something you want to go for. Reading buddy with you, not only will that person keep you accountable, also what you can do is that you can buy different books and you can swap books when you're done reading them. Also, thing to keep in mind is to always set a goal on monthly and yearly basis. What it does is that it basically makes things easier for you. You have to read X amount of books in a year. You will divide like how many books you have to read by 6 months or on quarterly basis. What I did was that I set only reading 2 books a year because I didn't thought I would even achieve that. So it was very easy for me. Logically, I'll be like, okay, I have 6 months to read one book, which gave me plenty of time to read a book that is hardly 100 or 200 pages. And when I did that, I got a sense of motivation. I can now go from 2 books to 3 books a year and 3 to 5 books a year, and slowly and gradually you will build that habit. Never buy more than 2 books at a time, because after that you will have too many options and you will not end up reading them, and when you will see a cupboard full of books, you will be very overwhelmed. Want to build this habit for a long period of time, you have to keep things fun and interesting, which means you have to read different categories and genres of book one after another. There are few books I think maybe you should start with because they are much easier to understand and are very well written. The book that I'll suggest is IKIGAI. You all have heard about IKIGAI. It was a bestseller. IKIGAI in Japanese means purpose. The book is about how people of Japan believes that everyone has a purpose in their life to find passion and find happiness in their ordinary life. The book that I recommend is Atomic Habit. Since we are talking about building a habit, it is very beneficial to start by reading a book about habit in order to build the habit of reading and apply the strategies that are given in the book in real life at the same time. The book that I recommend is to How to Win Friends and Influence People. I love this book. Being an introvert myself, I have a very hard time making friends and to be socially comfortable around people. So this book talked about few psychological tricks that you can do to make yourself more comfortable in front of people, which will help you to make friends. Another book that I recommend is Games People Play. If you're someone who wants to start with psychology but on a beginner's basis, I think this book is a very good read for, and also it starts by explaining some basics of psychology that the book is gonna merely focus about. So it explains what transactional analysis is, psychological games people play in different relations. What I recommend is a 4-hour work week. It's a very easy read. I love this book because not only it revolves around the case studies of people who have implemented his strategies, also after each chapter it gives a list of resources or relevant links, articles. The last book that I recommend is called The Meaning of Life by Viktor Frankl. It's a very emotional read. It talks about a lot of traumas and struggles and the psychological torture that people went during World War II. Viktor Frank himself was in concentration camp for 3 years, and he talks about how his perspective of meaning of his life changed after he came out of a concentration camp, where he believed that he won't even live the next day. The 2 books that I don't recommend for beginners, but you can always jump through if you are interested, is first is the 7 Habits of Effective People. I personally found this book to be very boring because the chapters are very long and everything, but it's a very good book if you are someone who is interested in criminal psychology. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. He was the building father of criminal psychology. Even though it's a very big read, explains the psychology of a criminal in every detail, the pattern of a criminal's breathtaking to everything. It for today's video. I hope you found at least one tip that help you start your reading journey. Throw in the comments down below if you have any book recommendations. Bye.